Hey there, welcome to Blueprint Digital, where we discuss industry trends, challenges, and opportunities in the B2B space. Today, we are joined by a marketeer, entrepreneur, and leader in her space, Krista White. She is a director of marketing for Crow Canyon Software. Welcome to Blueprint Digital, Krista.
Thanks, Troy. Happy to be here.
Great. So, tell us a little bit about your company's offering and value you provide to your customers.
At Crow Canyon, what we do is we make it easy for companies to automate routine business processes. Things like IT help desk, HR requests, purchasing and approvals. And we do all this in the Microsoft 365 environment because we find that it helps significantly with user adoption. So even the least technical users that you have can easily get up to speed.
Fantastic. So, stepping into a day in the life as a marketer, I'm sure you're tasked with generating engaging content that translates into interest and then demand. What are some of your most critical deliverables that help propel Crow Canyon?
I think one of the key components is content creation. Right. So that's something really important in our space. A lot of people are looking for help finding solutions that will actually move the needle for their business. It's really important to us that we provide measurable, deliverable, real world solutions. I think there's a lot of hype. People hear of a lot of things that are kind of sound nice or they're really flashy, but they don't necessarily translate to real feet on the ground solutions that make a difference for the business. And so that's something that we really enjoy doing is sharing insights and sharing resources to help companies make a difference in their productivity and efficiency.
What are the most common things you hear from customers, their challenges, what they need help with when they're engaging with you?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So we have some of our customers come from a place where, maybe they're handling IT tickets in email still, and that can get out of hand quickly, or managing purchase requests, but doing it in a spreadsheet. And again, you miss one thing and then everything's off. So that's a very real issue we hear about a lot. The other thing is for companies that do already have solutions, perhaps purchase request solution, but, the costs can get very high very quickly, especially if you're looking at ERP licensing costs for the whole organization. That really stacks up. So what we do is we help to bring those costs down. You can get rid of your extra ERP licensing and instead go with something like Nitro purchase requests to manage everything very seamlessly, but at a fraction of the cost. So that's something that's really big. But the other piece that we find is, of course, the AI component. And we're seeing a lot of that in our IT and HR solutions specifically, if I may. So one of the things that we're finding, particularly in HR, is, if you have an HR question, who wants to reread your entire employee handbook, to find that one answer of, the dress code or can I bring my dog to work or whatever it is. So we have something called Nitro Copilot where it parses all that information and streamlines everything. So you can just, in plain language, go and ask, what's the dress code? Or, whatever your question is, how do I update my address on file or add someone to my insurance policy? And we make that all a lot simpler. And it saves, staff time in dealing with those requests as well, because they're fairly straightforward answers.
You kind of said the magic phrase or words of AI. It's hard to turn on the radio, the TV, or read an article without hearing about AI and its impact on the future. You just talked about how you provide some AI solutions to your customers, but how is AI impacting what you do inside Crow Canyon?
Well, we're certainly using it. The key is with AI, we want to maintain the human touch. So AI is meant to be a tool to help us, especially through like maybe you're parsing through a large section of data, or you need to quickly create a schema markup or something. These are things that aren't the most human parts of our job, but we can use AI to be much more efficient and move more quickly. Whereas then the person to person interactions or the things that require a little bit more thoughtful analysis, that's where we bring the humans back into the mix. So for us, it's very much we're not using AI to replace anyone. I know that's a fear a lot of people have. For us, it's another tool to help us do even more and focus on the things that matter more to us.
Now, are these solutions off the shelf or are these solutions things that you're developing at Crow Canyon?
So it depends on the solution. We do have a number of ready to go solutions, but our specialty is more so about tailoring the solutions to you. If you want to come in and you want to just get a off the shelf help desk, we can do that. But where we really shine is by tailoring the solutions to our customers. I think a lot of people try to kind of force themselves into someone else's box, and that's fine if there's something that's very standardized and it works for you. But, for purchase requests, for example, we find that every single company handles purchase requests differently. We've been doing this for 25 years and we've yet to find two companies that do it the same way. So it really helps to get a solution that really works specifically to your needs, whatever your approval process is or whatever that looks like for you.
Krista, at a time when there is so much change, a deficit of skilled labor, you help businesses be more nimble and efficient through software automation. Do you have a couple success stories you could share with us?
Absolutely. So we have a large Southern university, very big, and they came to us because they needed help with, just like you said, essentially streamlining their processes. They specifically were looking for a help desk solution to manage internal tickets from staff and teachers at the institution. And they were finding that they had multiple locations, so that made it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more unique. And they were really struggling to find people who could bring everyone together and manage all the tickets under one roof and keep everything organized. So what we did is we implemented Nitro Help Desk for them. We made some tailored customizations, and ultimately we found that it increased their productivity. I know this is just help desk, right? So you would think, okay, so that's helpful for help desk, but it actually increased productivity even outside of the IT department by 32%. And that's just because if you have a request, you have a need, you want to get help for that very quickly and move on about your day. You don't want to be sitting around waiting for, I forgot my password. Well, I guess I'll sit here and twiddle my fingers for the next 2 hours or however long until IT gets back to me. So we were able to really just save everyone a lot of time and ultimately the company money as well, because then people could get focused again on what they really need to be focused on.
Yeah, I'm an impatient person. There's nothing worse than trying to log into a platform and not having your password, having to update it. So the faster you can get that updated, move on with your day, the better off you are.
Yes, yes, definitely. And that's actually one of the most common IT tickets is password resets, which is like such a basic thing, but it's crazy to have that hold everyone up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. With all the uncertainty in the economy that we're seeing, hearing, feeling, companies are trying to do more with less. Are you seeing an uptick in demand for your solutions?
Very much so. Yeah, I think so. People are at a place right now where they're realizing, okay, we're needing to be more aware of what we're doing, how we're spending our money, how our operations are flowing. And so we're seeing a big increase in people looking for ways to streamline the processes, keep things running smoothly. I know these all sound like buzzwords, right? Let's boost productivity and increase efficiency and all that. But really, people are looking for those numbers, and we're seeing a massive lift, specifically in the purchase request space. Companies are saving tens of thousands of dollars just by moving to a more efficient solution, which is wild. That's just in licensing costs, never mind opportunity costs and all of that.
Do you have an ideal customer profile that you target, or is it pretty wide?
It is fairly wide, but our specialty is on medium sized businesses. We do have enterprise customers as well. But ultimately what we focus on is companies that run in the Microsoft 365 space. Of course, if you have just a couple people, you probably don't need automation, right? It's two people. But as soon as you start getting a larger count of staff and you have multiple tiers of approvals or kind of isolated, siloed off departments that need to be able to communicate seamlessly, that's where we find our solutions make the greatest impact.
Something I heard probably 5 years ago that's always stuck with me is that the rate of change has never been as fast as it is today, but it will never be as slow as it is again. Right. So things are just churning faster and faster, that snowball coming down the hill. So thinking about the markets you serve, what does the next year look like for Crow Canyon?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think we've been all saying for a while now, wow, things are moving so fast. But exactly to your point, they'll never be this slow again, quote unquote. And so next year, what we're looking at is we're really predicting a lot more emphasis on automation. I think as AI is kind of rising in adoption, I know, of course, with any new solution, there's always a bit of skepticism in the beginning and we're working out the kinks, right? But now, and especially in today's current economic climate, we're looking at ways that we can help companies be more efficient with what they do have. We don't want to replace people. We don't want to cost an arm and a leg, but we do want to streamline that process, right? So the simple requests and approvals that easily get dropped in somewhere in the mix of paper shuffling and um, that's a great opportunity for companies to not only reduce the number of errors, but improve response times in IT, HR, and purchasing. Custom solutions as well. We work across all different departments. And what we're seeing is that companies who are implementing right now and they're looking to automate across departments, we have a government customer who has implemented not only our solutions, our applications across multiple departments, but also implemented our Nitro Copilot, our AI solution. And they've seen a 52% lift in productivity. Again, just wild numbers. But when you think about what that means to the company's bottom line, this is the kind of stuff that's really going to matter in 2026 for companies.
So as you go into these medium-sized businesses and you uncover areas of opportunity to automate their processes, to utilize AI, but still with that human touch as you talked about, do you feel you guys are leveraging those same technologies and capabilities inside your business, or what does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
We drink our own Kool-Aid, right? So we use our AI tools internally. We use our Nitro Copilot for any requests or inquiries that we have internally. But we also find that, we use our request manager. So I work in marketing. When someone in the sales department has a request for some new collateral, they send that request through our request management solution. And we're a distributed team. So we're all over the world. We work asynchronously. We find that that works really well to keep everyone together. It also provides visibility. So there's no question at any point in terms of where is this project, how far are you along in this deliverable? It really helps us to all stay connected and uh, productive, most importantly.
Perfect. Each episode, we ask our guests the biggest challenge or struggle facing their business that they'd love to solve. What does that look like for you?
That's a great question. I think our greatest challenge would be, let me think on that one for a bit. I think ultimately it's about connecting with the right people. Our goal is to help as many people as possible. So of course, being able to connect with more businesses that need help streamlining their processes, even if it's on a consulting basis, a lot of people just don't know where to start with automation. And that's something that for us, we love to have these conversations. It's actually fun. We nerd out about this stuff, right? So that's probably the greatest thing that we love to connect with people on.
Give us your 60-second commercial for Crow Canyon.
All right. So basically, what we do is help companies automate. You can replace those manual or outdated processes with streamlined operations, streamlined business process automation. And our specialty is making this whole process easier, right? So everything works in the same Microsoft 365 and Teams environment where your people already are. They're already familiar with this process. And what we do is we help you be more productive. So we help increase that bottom line through IT, HR, purchasing, and approval processes and make a big impact for you. That's our goal is just to help other businesses thrive.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about your company?
Well, we have a lot of exciting things coming up in 2026 in the AI front. Just as a little bit of a teaser here. So, we do have some new features that are going to be added to our solutions, and we're always looking for feedback as well. One thing that I love about what we do is we host regular workshops for our current customers and we show you how to make the most out of your solution. But even with that, then we take the feedback. We want to hear from people about what they want. And I think that's something that really is fun for us because we get to apply real world solutions. So I would definitely invite anyone who has requests, inquiries, ideas. Love that. We would love to hear from you and learn more about your needs.
All right, fantastic. Well, Krista, it's been great having you on Blueprint Digital. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'd like to thank
I
you
do.
so much for all those that are out there watching and listening. Until next time, I'm Troy Mann with Ascent Integration Partners. Remember, the pace of change in the market is getting faster every day. Adapting to change is not a requirement, but neither is survival. Rise above with Ascent. Take care.
Thanks, Troy.